But first, breaking news as we come on the air, LeBron James is a free agent, and that has significant ramifications for the rest of the NBA.
It's not all that surprising. This was sort of leaked out a couple of days ago that there's been speculation, rumors that LeBron and Steph have thought about linking up, which would be a whole lot of fun. We discussed this a little bit in just terms of
touch,
in terms of what that means legacy wise, and if you do it, is it a 1-year deal like a last hurrah? I'd be cool with it. If this is just going to be another 3-year iteration of the LeBron career, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
How old is he now?
59.
72.
I thought he was he 42 coming up on?
He'll be 42 at the tail end of December, so about midway through the season.
He's my age. He and I are both 41.
Okay.
And he's also dyeing his beard, as we've seen from one of his Twitter posts.
I haven't gone that far. I haven't started dyeing my beard yet.
Give it time. It'll come.
At what point do you say enough is enough?
That's the thing. He's chasing a ghost.
He's still doing it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the guy that he was 10 years ago, but he's still a legitimate force in this league. He's still
at least a top 20 player.
Probably.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He kind of, the way he plays is almost Messi-like. You know how Messi at his age, he just finds space and he's so cerebral, understands where to be on the pitch at all times. And you're like, how is he open? It's because he just knows time and space. LeBron's kind of the same way. I'll watch Laker games throughout the year. I'm like, why isn't he sprinting? I'm like, oh, because he doesn't need to. He's just going to kind of take his time up here, and it's a tempo, it's a pace game. Granted, if this was 15 years ago, he'd probably be sprinting because LeBron was a madman 10, 15 years ago. But he doesn't need to be. His game's evolved. But that also means that whoever his running mate is has to fit what he does.
Right?
There are going to need some athletic dynamicism on whatever team he goes to. Right? If you're going to pair up Steph and LeBron, you're still going to need an at-the-rim threat, an interior threat. So I think I would love to see Steph and LeBron in Golden State do a 1-year run. I'm sure most basketball fans would hate it, but I personally wouldn't mind it.
It's kind of a coin flip. I think some people would be fascinated by it. I think most would look at it, though, if that team just cruises their way to a title and go, oh, okay, you needed 4 superstars to kind of pool together to get another one. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's how the narrative goes. The funny thing about, or not necessarily the funny thing, but the interesting thing to me about this whole thing is this is not a subtle condemnation of where the Lakers are right now. When they go out and get Luka in the dead of night, and basically rob the Mavs of him from this franchise, your first thought is you're pairing Luka and LeBron. However long LeBron's going to stick around, he's probably going to want to stay there with Luka and a real chance to win a championship. But as we've seen, they haven't done a good job of putting pieces around the two of them. And some of it is that Luka wasn't healthy this last season, but at the same time, LeBron's looking at it like, if I'm going to win either this year or the next year, because I'm sure he's sitting there thinking, hey, if next year's successful, I might stick around another year, then it's not going to happen with L.A. And I think that's an interesting observation that he made in this entire process as well.
How do we feel about Hollinger's player efficiency rating as a metric?
I'm okay with it.
I mean, you look at who they've got as the top players in the league. Last year it had Giannis 1, Jokic 2, Shea 3, Wembanyama 4, Luka 5, Kawhi tied with Luka for 5th. Kind of a puzzling outlier, Jalen Duren 7th from Detroit.
Yeah. He was awesome.
Yeah,
for Detroit.
But I wouldn't have expected him that high. Is all I'm saying.
That high, correct.
Embiid, Paul Reed, another kind of surprising outlier, also from Detroit at 9th. I say that only to say that metric, which is a decent approximation of the best players in the league.
It's kind of like WAR in baseball.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good.
It had LeBron 31st this year, which is, I think, lower than I would have thought. And again, not that that's gospel, but it just...
Like every other analyst, do we add Bronny's to LeBron's?
It's interesting you mentioned Bronny because a tweet that I just saw from earlier this morning, Bronny James' contract with the Los Angeles Lakers became fully guaranteed for $2.3 million in salary yesterday. And then today, Dad's like, I'm out.
I have a question for the
Good luck
three
with
of
the
you.
Lakers, son.
Well, he moved him into Los Angeles, and that's about it. That's all you really need, right?
Is he paying rent?
I have 2 questions for the 3 of you.
Yes.
Okay, the first one. What does this mean for Luka?
I don't think yet it means anything, but it does at least make you wonder about how long-term his stay in LA will be. Like, if they can build something, like, it puts the pressure on the LA front office. You better start building something around him quick.
For sure. It makes the Lakers, it puts them in a better position to build around him.
That's true.
And we saw the Mavs finally figured it out in terms of building around Luka, what worked, and, they got to a finals. I'm starting to wonder if LeBron's gone and LeBron goes somewhere else that's not Dallas. Does Kyrie link back up with Luka in LA?
Interesting.
Try and recoup some of the assets you didn't get in the initial trade.
And so basically, the Lakers become the 2024 Mavericks.
So are we sending Kyrie, PJ, and Daniel Gafford over there too? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
They just completely reconstitute the 24 Mavs.
You give us everybody else. Austin Reeves, who just got an extension.
So
I don't know. It's
here's
maybe that's fantasy, but
and then here's my second question: if not the Warriors, which is what we talked about yesterday, where does he go? And as a second part, is it the Mavs?
I don't think so.
Don't think so.
Wherever LeBron's going, he wants to win a title. He wants the fifth.
Yeah.
Like that's the ultimate goal on this. As much as he wants the victory tour and to play with players that he likes, and Kyrie certainly qualifies on that side of this offense, I don't think. And classically, LeBron doesn't really have a history of listening to coaches that don't have a significant skins on the wall. Thinking back to when he went back to Cleveland with David Blatt, I think it was, and he was gone within a year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the only place that makes any sense for him to go to that wouldn't be in the lens of what you're saying, that I'm trying to go win a fifth championship, would be if he went back to Cleveland, who is a team that, is not that far off given what they've done the last couple of seasons. But that would be the one spot, if he were to go anywhere at all, that he wouldn't be singularly focused on one more shot at a championship, it would be Cleveland. Because, all right, hey, I'll go back here and ride off into the sunset in my hometown. Yeah. Otherwise, anywhere else he goes, it's got to be under the heading of, this is my last chance or two, however long he thinks he's going to play to win a title.
There are a lot of LeBron haters out there, especially in Dallas, for obvious reasons, going back to 2011. But I do wonder
the timing that, as you say that, Dirk Nowitzki is shown on the screen at the World Cup.
Absolutely magnifique. I do wonder, where would LeBron go?
Loyalty never fades away.
That's right.
Especially his German roots.
Yeah.
What was it,
Dirk?
What was it? 40, number 41, 21 years?
Yeah.
One team?
41, 21,
and LeBron will be 23, 6. How many years? 20. Is he going into year 23, 24?
That sounds right.
What are we?
He's 42, or about to be 42. He was 18 when he came. Was he 18 or 19 when he came in?
I think 18.
I think he was 18.
Yeah. 18.
So yeah, this is
his first season was 03-04.
Yep. Gosh. So this will be his 23rd, or this will be his 24th. It's always the.
I was a young lad getting sugar cookies in the cafeteria line when he made his NBA debut.
I was in 4th grade, so good luck.
I was in middle school.
Nice, Kelly.
And he's still hooping.
Yeah,
that's I was in middle school. I'm gonna be 40 soon, and this dude's still he's probably still
he's a man.
Be going.
He's 40.
He's almost 40.
almost a man, and almost 40.
Almost a man. If I ever start a band, that'll be the name of it. Almost a man.
Had a couple of good random band names this morning.
We're crushing it.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
What is the if 03-04 was his first season, 25-26 is the season that we just played. That's 22 years, and I think he just played season 23 because you've got to be inclusive of the years on both ends. So this is going to be year 24.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But how many teams now?
This would be 4.
Is
well,
Cleveland, Miami,
technically
LA.
3 so far, but 4 different stints. Cavs, Heat, Cavs, Lakers.
This will be his fourth.
This will be his 4th team wherever he goes, unless he goes back to one of the teams unless he goes back to the Heat or Cavs.
And that's what. And listen, the Heat
Go to the Heat and play with Giannis?
It's certainly intriguing.
A time for the ultimate callback to once again pull up where he's taking his talents and just remake that. He doesn't even have to remake it. Just cue up the clip.
But LeBron, Giannis, and Bam all on the floor together might be some of the ugliest basketball
That is
I've ever
interesting
seen.
that, like, considering the moves that the Heat just made, maybe they knew something was coming and they're trying to make it a little
Well, I mean, Pat Riley's
enticing?
the ultimate, like, let's try and get every big name out there. He's
Yeah.
just been second in the running for, like, the last 5 or 6 years here. But, not like, the question will be how they manage the contracts down there because they don't have a lot of depth in Miami. And as we've seen recently, it's not necessarily even about the front-end talent anymore. It's about the guys coming off the bench that can keep scoring while, LeBron's getting some rest.
But you have 3 guys that are all like marginally okay at shooting threes, and not even like they're okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, today's NBA, you need to stretch the floor, and I just don't see those 3 operating together. That would be a weird fit.
It would be.
Him and Steph,
Yes.
I could absolutely see. And now I've said this, I would love to see it. This would probably be the one scenario where I'd celebrate it, and everything else would be like, okay, fine. There would be some scenarios where I'd groan, but I would celebrate, shockingly, if it's LeBron, Steph, and KD, and they do they do like a dream team up, wherever, Golden State probably.
Yeah.
And they do like a swan song. This is our last year in the NBA. We're going to try to make a run at it. Not AD, KD. Kabish?
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one.
I just had a diabolical
Oh, no.
picture in my head. And it's Steph and LeBron remaking the poster from the movie Twins, and Steph is Danny DeVito and LeBron is Arnold. Because the size differential is wild.
Or like the Step Brothers cover where like LeBron, like Steph's on like LeBron's shoulder like this.
Honest question.
I
though.
like that.
I'm just curious, just from y'all's perspective, because I know he did win a title with LA. Did he have a successful stint with the Lakers or no?
No.
I don't know why everybody wants to denigrate the 2020 title. They were playing in the same
Because it's fun to
circumstances
say
as everybody
it's
else.
just fun to say Mickey Mouse title.
But
Yeah.
we're not denigrating the title, but like.
But people
he haven't,
do.
Yeah, but like he hasn't had.
It's arguably harder to win in a bubble than it is.
I was going to say
arenas.
that is part of the analysis.
But they have brought in people to build up around him and still haven't been able to break through.
Like when he signed with LA, I think a lot of people thought, oh, well, that's either the 2-peat or the 3-peat that's coming up over the next little bit, especially with AD there. And AD was supposed to start taking the reins and the transition would happen. And guess what? That didn't happen. So I suppose.
AD, not KD.
Correct. And not AP. Anyway.
What?
Anyway.
Adrian Peterson. Anyway. The other AD.
Also AD.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but like that's kind of the question. It's like when you look back on LeBron at this point, Cleveland second time around was a success. Not first time around was success too, in terms of bringing them to prominence. But the Heat was obviously transcending to some degree, especially considering the heat that the hate that he performed under. How do you think people are going to remember his time as a Laker?
His whole career is wonky in terms of how people are going to remember.
I don't
because
think
there's
it's
so
going
many
to stand.
peaks
I don't
and
think
valleys.
people are going to view it that way. Yeah, I don't think people are going to isolate the Lakers' tenure.
Yeah.
Maybe Lakers fans, you can ask them.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount of them.
But it's just as a basketball fan and spectator,
His career is going to be looked at in totality more.
correct.
Yeah.
And that's especially when you play 24 years, you go 3-4 different teams. That's pretty much how it goes. I mean, it's hard to judge him based on one stint. Was it a successful stint? You won a championship.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, was it as successful as it could have been or should have been? No. But it was still
But
successful.
yeah, you hung a banner that
You went to LA, you won a banner.
Yeah.
He's now won titles for Cleveland, Miami, and LA.
Yep. Yeah.
It's hard to do. Regardless of, what you could have done, what he has done is still impressive and should be celebrated.
Yeah.